They did not
So,
find shit of mine, and I'll tell you, some of the stuff I had was like one of a kind. I had my case that rack case I had with my amp and all the rack gear inside of it with the two
oh
drawers. Like
yeah,
that was
yeah, yeah.
custom made for me. So it's not
Mhm.
like there's a bunch of those laying around. Fucking that guitar, one of them was a Ball Family Reserve, which means it's handmade at the factory. So there's not a bunch of those laying around, and fucking yeah,
Mm-mm.
those were never recovered. Those serial numbers went out to everywhere. Fucking nothing, dude, nothing ever. So
And didn't Joe borrow a Rickenbacker or
yeah,
something?
it was Wolfer's Rickenbacker.
Oh, oh, ouch.
Sorry, Wolfer.
Yeah.
But
Oh
yeah,
man.
it was a fucking
Yeah.
that was a rough stretch right there.
It was weird because they were literally texting us like, "Hey, we just got robbed," and we at that time I was reading about you guys getting robbed.
Yeah,
I'm like, really? Like the same night? Like, what are the odds?
dude, you should have seen my how that happened and how I found out. um, we get to Vegas too early to check into the hotel. Um, so me and Joe go have a couple of drinks at the casino hotel that we're gonna stay at, and people stayed at the van until it was check-in time. So it was hours that we had that people were just crashing in the van sleeping. Okay.
Mhm.
Finally, I get a buzz from the hotel like, all right, you guys can check in now. So I go tell those guys they can check in. At this point, it's fucking maybe I don't know 2 in the afternoon, 1 in the afternoon. They go check in. Everyone just like freshens up real quick, takes a shower, maybe takes like a fucking 45 minute to an hour nap, and by fucking 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we were gonna leave for the venue. So the truck was only left alone for 2 hours, and in that 2 hour time, someone fucking just took the fucking trailer off the fucking hitch, rehitched it, and fucking left with all our shit.
Ugh.
And in mid afternoon, we're talking about between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. So this is not the middle of the night. This is not fucking anything. Yeah, fucking jacked it right in broad daylight. None of the cameras saw the people do it, but we couldn't get like a good look at their license plate. We couldn't get a good look at nothing. But
Wow.
I walked to the van first. I was the first one to the van. I thought I was late. I was having weird dreams actually. I had a dream that Joe and Quincy said they were going to the venue. Um, without you guys, find your way there, right? And then I woke up from sleeping in the room. I'm like, fuck, I'm late. I gotta go to the van. I'm walking to the van. I can't see the van at first because the trailer's not behind her. I'm kind of looking for a long vehicle with the thing behind it. So I'm looking at it. I don't see the van. I'm like, maybe that wasn't a dream. Maybe they left me. I gotta find my way to the venue. I
Oh
keep
no.
walking closer and closer, and now I see the van, and there's nothing behind it. So, dude, like I walk up to the van. I walk completely around it, just staring at it. Just looking. I'm like, the trailer's not here. We had a trailer. It's not
Oh,
here. So did they
oh
take the
no.
trailer? Did Lemon get? I don't fucking know what's going on. And like it just all hits me, dude. Like this shit was stolen. Like no one fucking went anywhere. I called the cops immediately. Um, Reported it stolen, and I'm just sitting there with I'm in the driver's seat. I got my head fucking just planted on the steering wheel, and Michael and everyone's starting walking towards me, and they're like, "Is Loki sleeping in the driver's seat right now?" No, dog. Like, look behind the truck, and they're looking behind the truck, like what? What do you mean? I'm like, "There's no trailer there," and they're like, "Oh, fuck." Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's gone." So
Yeah,
dude,
that's the worst
the
nightmare.
pit in my stomach, it just like it felt like there was a shotgun blast in my fucking stomach. Like, like all that stuff is just gone. Ugh. like a legacy of
Yeah.
things. Like you sometimes people just view things as things, but this is like a legacy of stuff. Like,
Mhm.
you know, collection of shirts, which, I was like, Joe, shut up about your shirts, but like he's right. There's a collection of shit that he's collected since he was fucking 15. So it means something to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he told me all about that
All
when
I
we were
could think
driving
about
back. I was like, oh.
all I could think about was like 15 grand worth of guitar gear. I'm like, I don't want to hear about shirts right now. Like everything I've ever worked for was in there, and it's gone.
Yeah, and when you're a working class
Yeah,
touring musician, like there's not money to replace stuff
no.
like that. So I mean,
It's kind of an accumulation of a lifetime of work, man. Those guitar cabs were fucking from the Gotham Road days. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not like I've
wow.
spent all this cash to do this fancy tour. No, dude, that's like a collection of stuff that it's incrementally been upgraded or built. Gone.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Yeah. Um, tragic,
Yeah.
honestly. Like the whole trailer, not even didn't spare
They just
anything. I
fucking
mean, with
took the whole thing.
Stellar,
They
with
found the
Stellar, they
trailer
at least had
eventually,
some
but there was
stuff to
nothing inside
sell.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so brutal.
I got so
That's so
shit faced
brutal.
that night in Las Vegas. We played a
I bet.
show. We still played a show. We fucking that night we like I just
Borrowed
borrowed our friends,
everything.
yeah, and like I'm doing all sorts of shit that I shouldn't be doing, plus drinking on top of it. I didn't give a fuck. Like, all right, I have to
Yeah, it's
muster through this. Here we
oh
go.
God. It's yeah, it's like literally the worst nightmare. I remember Stellar played in El Paso. I believe we were in El Paso, and they played that night with the Roving Midnight gear,
Mm.
and Mossy Dan Lamoth, their bass player, or I guess former bass
Right.
player, he's an upright player. So, and that upright had a lot of had like a tremendous amount of sentimental value to him. He had had it since he was a teenager, and it was like his baby. So, I mean, I just remember I felt so horrible for them because they played, but he hadn't played a show with an electric bass in years, and
Right.
he
Was
was
that fucking
playing
him up?
Goolsby's. No, they sounded good
Yeah.
to be honest with you, but like you could tell he was like,
It's like
man, this
you're playing
sucks.
with a heavy
Like,
heart. It's like, ugh.
yeah, yeah, they were bummed, and imagine going from playing like upright to playing Goolsby's Aerodyne, and like you're trying to translate what you would usually do, but you have to do it a completely different way, and you haven't even rehearsed that way, and I mean, there weren't that many people there that night, but yeah, that was a hard night for those guys. I felt so bad for them.
Yeah. We actually mustered on because the next night we sold out the whiskey, so we're like can't cancel a sold out show. Just maybe this will make us even fucking feel better to end on a high note. Sold out show. So we traveled to L.A. to play the fucking whiskey. All of us are just fucking hating life. Uh, we're actually co-headlining with Wednesday 13.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so I'm like trying to get in touch with the whiskey to see if I can get in touch with someone from Wednesday 13 to see if I can borrow the gear. Like the guy also has an Axe FX. I had an Axe FX. I'm like, there won't be any loss in sound. It'll be the same shit. Fucking, and it's an Axe FX, so he's not gonna lose any of his settings. He just fucking hits his fucking preset. Boom, away he goes. So I'm like, this should be a no-brainer. Wednesday 13 told us to go fuck ourselves. Not in those words, but I mean they let us down nicely. But Jesus fucking Christ, guys, you can't do me a fucking solid. Like, really? Like, really? I
Oh
don't
man.
often talk shit publicly like this, but like, really? You couldn't have just been nice for fucking one. Like, these guys have gone through hell the past couple of days. Let me just let him use my Axe effects. It doesn't affect my fucking shit whatsoever. And that's the nice excuse he says. He's like, oh, shit's set the way it is. I don't want to fuck with it. I wanted to say, it's a fucking Axe effects. Are you stupid? You don't know how to fucking, you just hit one button. Everything's fucking reverted back to how you said it. I was so aggravated. So we ended up playing on like shitty gear. Fucking they didn't let us borrow anything, dude. Not none of the backline. So like we played
Man,
on like less than stellar fucking gear, and that made it even more. You know, you're up there and playing on instruments and sound behind you that kind of sucks. It just makes you less enthused to play than we already were.
definitely.
So that show was just fucking
Yeah.
awful because we thought we were gonna go be victorious, play this fucking sold out show. No, dude, it was fucking a nightmare.
And like obviously it would have been one thing if you guys were just playing some dive bar, but the
Yeah,
sold out whiskey show, like that's a
yeah.
huge bummer.
Shame on you,
Yeah.
Wednesday 13. You couldn't just fucking do it. What the fuck? I would have
Well,
turn the other fucking turn it around, dude. Imagine your shit gets stolen. You ask fucking our band to fucking at least borrow some fucking amps and shit. It's a no brainer. It's a no brainer to say, yeah, dude. I'm sorry you're having a shit week. The least we could do is just fucking let you finish it out. This is your last show. Finish it out on my shit. No problem.